This was Sega's answer to the John Madden football series.
Puts it up. Intercepted at the 1. Brought down San Francisco.
NFL Sports Talk Football 93 starring Joe Montana isn't exactly a name that rolls off the tongue. But despite the long name, the NFL license really was a big deal. And the game is different, I'll give you that.
Back to pass. He's sacked back at the 37-yard line. It's third down.
You can choose from one of 4 different points of view from play to play.
At the 39.
This is pretty advanced for a game that was made in 1992.
The pitch to the back. Tackled immediately. Good play by the defense.
But there are some problems as well.
Montana called the signal. Montana back to throw. Throws. Incomplete. That brings up second down for San Francisco.
Well, I guess that the graphics were improved in this version, though honestly, when I look at it, I kind of like the earlier version better. And there are also some bugs in this version that make it really hard to enjoy the game, so let's dig in. When you start a new game, you can set the camera to one of 4 modes. You can also change the mode between plays to get the one that works the best for you. In general, the offensive-focused vertical mode is the best for calling running plays.
Pitch out. Tackled immediately. Brings up second down.
If you try to pass in this mode, you won't be able to see any of your receivers.
He puts it up. He takes it at the 37. He jumped at the 38. First down.
The horizontal mode works a little bit better for passing, except that you still usually won't be able to see your receivers. Now, this was a problem in Joe Montana 2 as well,
He puts it up. Incomplete.
but the problem seems to have gotten worse in the 3rd game.
Montana back to pass. He's sacked back at the 47-yard line.
And of course that begs the question, why in the world did that horizontal angle work so well for Tecmo Super Bowl? Let's take a close look at this passing play. As you can see, the camera moves backwards about 20 yards right after the ball is snapped. Note also that there's no arrow on top of my intended receiver. I guess this time I forgot to push the B button. By the time I release the ball, my intended receiver is still on the screen, though he's close to going off of it. And you can see that there's a defender that I couldn't see as well, information that I really wish I had before I decided to pass. My receiver caught the ball, sure, but it feels like the catch was totally random. I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to do something to help my guy catch the ball in this game, which is what you're supposed to do in Madden. It feels like it's just totally random, and you get intercepted so often that it's actually scary to pass. Now let's look at a similar call in Tecmo Super Bowl. This is with the homebrewed 1966 rosters. Once again, I run back a little bit after the snap, and actually I can see less of the field here than I could in the Montana game. However, it's really clear to me who the intended receiver is, and he clearly has nobody on him. And when I throw the pass, it's caught with room to run. There are no surprise defenders waiting off screen. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a clip from a game early in the season, right? I mean, Tecmo Super Bowl is set up so that you will have guys wide open at the beginning of the season, but it gets harder as the season goes along. So let's take a look at a clip from a later season game. This is from the Patriots Week 9 game against Denver on the original Tecmo Super Bowl ROM. As you can see, this is a rollout play, but I've still got a guy open. If you look back to what the defense is doing at the beginning of the play, you can see that it was set up in run defense. The cornerback was protecting against the run and just left his guy wide open, and the safety was way out of position. Now, if you go back to that Montana play again, you'll see right off the bat that none of my 3 receivers are even close to open. That play worked mostly as a fluke. And maybe we could say that the computer's defensive play calling is just better in the Joe Montana game. However, based on my experience with this game, I think that the defense is just simply overpowered. If the computer decides to run the ball, just about any defensive play call will stop it for a loss. The computer also tends to run into its own backs all the time, as in during almost every single running play. Even when I play from the horizontal perspective, the computer simply doesn't know how to run the ball. And the computer doesn't have any more success trying to pass than I do.
He throws. Batted away. 4th down for Minnesota.
This is a kind of strange game where you can't really pass and you also can't really run. I'm really not sure what you're supposed to do on offense at all, to tell you the truth. So in my game, I was playing as San Francisco, and the Minnesota Vikings recovered a fumble on the 1-yard line. I had called a running play to be safe, too.
Pitch out. He throws it away. Uh-oh, what a mistake. Scramble for the ball.
They ran it in easily after that.
The pitch to the back, up the middle, and he scores. The crowd goes wild.
I went for it on 4th and long late in the game and wound up being sacked.
Montana looking, sacked. San Francisco comes away with nothing.
So that set up another running touchdown, and their running back really seemed impossible to stop on this one.
Straight up the middle, touchdown. Incredible with the score.
But other than that, the computer gained no yards at all.
To the left. No good.
In fact, despite losing 14-7, we held the computer to minus 63 yards total, including minus 62 yards passing, which is totally insane. And you know, this was my first time playing the game as well. That tells me that there's something that's out of balance about the split between offense and defense. Notice as well that we had an incredible 9 turnovers, which I think is more than I've ever had in a football game. The problem is that it's way too easy to throw an interception in this game.
Intercepted at the 32. Hit and stop. Minnesota.
And if you look at this play again more slowly, you can see where the problems lie. Notice that nobody is actually doing anything on the line. You've got 8 defensive players who are literally standing still. The offensive line has retreated back behind the quarterback for some reason. Anyway, when I release the ball, it looks like it's going to be a completion for sure, right? The defender is facing the wrong direction. However, he not only recovers in time, but he also outruns 2 receivers to the spot. And so in the end, it looks like a really silly pass when you look at the close-up mode. And you know, I feel like every single offensive play in this game winds up something like this. It's really frustrating. I mean, this is really frustrating, and I've got a feeling that I'm not the only one who feels this way. The computer also throws interceptions like it's going out of style.
The pass. Intercepted at the 25.
And running the ball is even worse than trying to pass.
Gets the block. Look out. Tackled immediately.
If you look at that play again, it looks at first like there's going to be a pretty wide lane on the strong side, right? However, the tight end completely misses his block for some random reason. And then this cornerback comes darting in from out of nowhere to make the stop. Now, we can't see what happens to the wide receiver on the right side, but it's clear that he didn't block. And you know, that's the biggest problem here. The defenders come out of nowhere, mostly because of that stupid close-up camera view. Now, I know that they wanted to use that so they could show off the graphical capacity of the Sega Genesis, but the problem is that it makes the game almost impossible to play. If you check out Tecmo Super Bowl again, you'll see what I mean. Notice how everybody on the line is engaged right after the snap. The hole is obvious and easy to spot. Oh, and look, my receivers can block too. Now, it is kind of cheap that I can just throw a tackler off like this, but at least I don't have hidden defenders coming in from nowhere to tackle me. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that as bad as all of that is, that's not the only thing that's wrong with this Montana game. Choosing a team itself is an experience. You choose the conference first and then the team. Why can't you just select a team like you could in Madden 93? I mean, the team selection process was also easier in the earlier Montana game. Why break something that was working? And then you get to choosing your own play, which is always the most important thing in any football game. How did they screw that up? You're supposed to choose your personnel first, then your formation, and then whether you're in the shotgun or not. These 3 choices you make then determine which plays you can actually call. But, I mean, the whole thing's a total mess, and you forget where your favorite plays were located. I still don't believe that it makes any difference whether you're in the shotgun or not. And the line blocking in this game is just terribly programmed, whether you're on offense or defense.
Intercepted at the 23.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that the 8-bit Tecmo Super Bowl game is more accurate. And you're going to have to get used to me saying that a lot, unfortunately. Both the Montana series and the Madden series at this time suffered from very similar issues. Now, the journalists loved these games, or maybe they loved the money that EA was giving them on the side to win over their affection. But for serious football fans, Tecmo Super Bowl was really the best bet. Anyway, near the end, I started calling fake punts every single down. This works because it forces the computer into a punt formation defense, even if it knows that you're going to fake it.
It's a fake. Throws. No good.
You want to stay away from the running fake punt, only call the passing one. Sometimes you can get your guy wide open. Sometimes he'll catch it even if he's covered. But you have a better chance than you do calling normal plays, that's for sure. I also tried the fake field goal a few times but had no success with it. For some reason, the receivers just don't run as far down the field if you fake the field goal.
Montana calls the signal. Fakes. The pass. Yes, good execution. Hit and stop. It's 2nd down and 8. 4 chances.
And unfortunately, that's really sad. I mean, after how much fun the second Montana game was on the Genesis, I was expecting this game to at least be decent. It's a bad sign when I have to resort to calling fake punts every single down just to gain yardage. But of course, it's kind of fitting that this game has Joe Montana's name on it. Montana, of course, was injured early in the 1991 season. That paved the way for Steve Young to take over at quarterback for San Francisco. Now, Montana did have a bit of a comeback late in the 1992 season. But in the end, Montana wound up being traded to Kansas City. Now, by the time this game came out in December 1992, it was clear that Montana was not going to be with San Francisco much longer, but they still had him in a 49ers uniform on the cover, kind of a testament to what once was. Well, fortunately, that wasn't the end of Joe Montana's career, and it wasn't the end of his Sega Genesis franchise either. Overall, though, this game really was a disappointment to play. I guess it's great if you love defense, but seriously, it's ridiculous that I held the computer to minus 63 yards total offense, especially since I not only barely knew what I was doing, but I also lost. Though this game tried to be the Madden Slayer, in the end, it failed.